You've had the best results in the history of Verimark come out this morning. What is your response?
We're extremely pleased with the results, especially if you take into account that last year we already grew at 38%, and to grow turnover and another 33% on top of that is really an achievement in itself, and we're very pleased.
So you've re-energized your senior management. Is this the reason behind your fairy tale turnaround?
Actually, we did a lot of changes. As we all know, Verimark went through a tough time a few years ago, and we had a complete change, excluding myself. I think it was about 20 people that we changed. And it was really, there was a lot of uncertainties at the time whether the team is ready to take Verimark back to its former success record. And I'm pleased today to look back and say we've done it now 2 years in a row. Credit to all the people that really climbed in, my staff, my senior guys, and they really delivered.
You have the direct Verimark stores, and you also have the concept of shop within a shop. Which is more lucrative, and how will we see these developing over time?
Actually, it's Verimark not only pioneered direct response television in South Africa about 2 decades, we also pioneered the concept of taking those TV products into retail. Now, taking it into retail was really twofold. We went into the retail stores, your big game, Pick and Pay, Macro, etc. We also opened our own stores. Both of them has a place. It's a very unique strategy. It's not done anywhere in the world to the levels that Verimark has done it. That's why we are today recognized as the benchmark of this concept of taking TV products into retail. But the concept has worked very well, and they really complement each other. So I would hate to say that one is more important than the other. They dovetail into each other, and that we really maximize ourselves by doing that.
Now, you are quite exposed to the rand. This has gone to your advantage recently, but how do you deal with this going forward?
The rand, obviously will have impact as with any other importer that relates to our trading partners, other retailers as well. I've made the point on many occasions that Verimark's business model is a lot different to the typical retail models. It's a lot more about innovation, finding the right products, getting the right spaces in retail, rather than what the macroeconomical issues do to us. But the rand, in some sense, will have it, and there's no simple answer to that. We clearly will have to increase our prices in that type of situation. But we were fortunate the last 2 years that the rand were pretty stable.
The retail sector sales were highest in 2005 and 2006 at about 15%. It's now at 5%. How do you plan to make this work for you?
It's interesting, the statistic you just mentioned. You're right, the last year up till December, the statistics South Africa, the growth was 5.2%, in fact. Now, Verimark, if you look at our sales over the last 2 years, we literally were 6 times higher than that. So once again, bringing back to the point that macroeconomic issues, trends have less of an impact on Verimark. So this is a very good proof that, and we rather focus on our product innovations and our expansion of our own business.
Now, the board said last year that it would be prudent not to return a dividend. Your profit has increased by over 144% now. Can investors expect to see a dividend?
Yes, if I can correct you there, Ashlea, we did actually declare a dividend last year of 50%, and we also will be doing so this year.
Okay. And last question, just quickly, what is your plan going forward? Are you planning to focus on getting business right? Can we expect to see you rolling out your direct sales concepts to other countries?
Actually, we like to play our cards very tight to our chest. There is a lot of plans. We have been approached over the last 5-6 years by a number of countries all over the world. I must emphasize, though, that our focus is to really stabilize the situation in South Africa, which we've done very successfully over the last 2 years. And you're right, in the next year or 2 years, we'll start looking at a number of options, one of them which you mentioned. There is also still an improvement that I believe we can do. The focus has clearly been on growing sales. And if you look at it, we nearly doubled our turnover over the last 2 years. And that is why we're so pleased. I think this year will be a bit of a consolidation phase for us, especially the first 6 months, where we want to focus on those expenses, because although we did control under circumstances expenses quite well, I think some expense items could have been better controlled, and there's going to be emphasis there, and we'll get a lot of profitability out of that anyway.